Hello, it's Mr. Fleming here, and now we are looking at science. We're going to be looking at whether things are living, dead, or have never lived, and with that, we are going to be learning about somebody called Mrs. Gren. Okay. Here we have three different things. We have a box, a baby, and a tree. Now, what I'd like you to decide, thinking about what we've just talked about something being alive, dead, or has never lived, I want you to think now, look at those three pictures and decide which one you think is the odd one out. Have a think. Okay, so the answer is box. Even though the tree isn't an animal or a person like the baby, it still grows in all sorts of different things that make it very similar to the baby in a sense that it is alive. Okay. So how do we know if something is alive? It's something we need to think about. And hopefully looking at Mrs. Gren, it will help us to know why something is alive. So think about what does a frog do that makes it alive? What does a flower do that makes it feel alive, make it alive? What does a fish do that makes it alive? So everybody, this is Mrs. Gren. Okay, and as you can see, it's not actually a person, but it's just a way to remember all of the things that we know things that are alive do. Okay, so the first one, we've got movement, respiration, which means to breathe, sensitivity means to feel, which we'll go on in more detail in a minute, growth, reproduce, excretion, nutrition. Okay, so that is Mrs. Gren, and those are the things that tell you if something is alive. It doesn't need to have every single one of these, but it needs most of them. So, all living things move. Animals move around to get from place to place, and plants turn towards the light and their roots grow into the soil. So even though you might not think that plants move very quickly, there are lots of videos on YouTube that show how a plant grows and moves over time, for example, when it's following the sun. Number two, respiration. All living things respire, so that means to breathe. Plants and animals use oxygen in the air to turn food into energy, so all living things need air to survive or be alive. So the next one, sensitivity. All living things are sensitive, so they feel things. So every living thing notices change in the environment around them and reacts to it. So it's like in the corner there's a picture of a dog seeing snow and it's going crazy. Or, for example, if it's really warm, sometimes you might feel really happy. Okay, so all living things are sensitive. Now, this is one that we probably did know, that all living things grow. Some things grow quicker than others. So, for example, a baby grows quite quickly, whereas maybe a tree, obviously, it does grow quite quickly when it's little, but as it gets older, it takes longer to grow. So all living things grow. Next up, we have reproduction. So all living things reproduce. The animals make babies and new plants grow from seeds. Okay, excretion. All living things excrete, so that basically means they get rid of waste products. So, as you know, waste products are removed from our bodies or animals' bodies. We won't go into too much detail over that. And plants and animals both have to get rid of it as well, so it's not just plants who have to get rid of waste, gas and water. Okay. Nutrition. So all living things need to eat food. So I know I need to eat lots and lots of food to keep me going. So food is used to provide energy to live. Okay. Now, even though plants don't eat their own food, they basically create their own food using sunlight. Okay. So all living things need to eat. Right, so the task I'm going to set you is that I'm going to give you a load of pictures of lots of different things, and you're going to put them into 3 groups, and they are going to be something that is alive, something that is dead, or something that has never lived. Now, there are going to be some that you might think are have never lived, or there might be some pieces of material that you might think be alive on some of the pictures. So it's just totally what you think, using your knowledge of Mrs. Gren now to decide if something was alive, is alive, or has never been alive. Thank you.